What is up, casters? Super Insane 18 here, and today is a beautiful day in Elestria, and I'm going to tell you why. So, for those of you who might not know me, I am a big combo guy. You may know me from some Yu-Gi-Oh content. My whole thing is combo guides and deck profiles, and that is what I love. That is my bread and butter, and we, for the first time ever, have a massive Wombo combo in Elestrals. So, we're going to show you guys what it is. It is a 2-card combo utilizing Aeolus and Ardbud, and it creates some of the most absurd boards because there's actually a few different routes that you can take with it, so we are going to show you all of them. Let's hop in. So to kick off this combo, we are going to fully load our Aeolus. Now technically you can get away with only doing 4 spirits, but I like having the additional one, which we will get to later on in the combo. But then we can use the Aeolus effect, getting rid of 2 of our wind spirits. This is going to allow us to add our Nimbug. Now, Nimbug, Champion of Aeolus, has the effect of when it's added, without drawing it, you get to add another card, either Sirikun, Stratomoth, or the Bag of Winds. So we're going to go ahead and utilize the Nimbug effect to add our copy of Sirikun. We can then special cast our Sirikun just because we have the Aeolus on the field. The only thing is that now it just has to ascend into bugs, but that's not a big deal because we're never actually going to ascend over this. From here, we can go ahead and cast out our Ardbud. This is going to, on cast, allow us to add an Insectoid Elestral, which, wouldn't you know it, Nimbug is an Insectoid. And the effect of Nimbug is not once per turn, meaning that we can go ahead and get another search. Here we are going to add a copy of Bag of Winds. Now that we're at this point, we want to make sure that we have something to disenchant for the Ardbud effect, but doing so would kill our Sirikun. So we don't want to do that just yet. Nimbug has another effect in our hand, where you can discard it and expend a Wind Spirit, and this allows you to Nexus Wind from your field anywhere else, so we're going to go ahead and Nexus that to our Sirikun. Now that Sirikun has an additional spirit, we can use the Ardbud effect to disenchant one of those spirits, and that is going to allow the Ardbud to ascend into our Ardvarum. Now, Ardvarum on cast adds an Insectoid, meaning we can go ahead and add our third and final Nimbug. But once again, since Nimbug is not once per turn, we can utilize the Nimbug effect. This is going to allow us to add the Stratomoth to our hand. Now, because we have the Bag of Winds, we can go ahead and activate that, and that is going to allow us to return the Sirikun to our hand. Unfortunately, we will lose the spirits, but that's fine. To special cast a Champion of Aeolus, and wouldn't you know it, the Stratomoth is a Champion of Aeolus, meaning that we now have both Stratomoth and Ardvarum on our field. Now, what we want to do here is we want to utilize the Stratomoth effect, which allows you to Nexus to special cast a 1-drop wind monster from your deck. So we're going to go ahead and Nexus off the Aeolus. We'll probably go ahead and put it on the Ardvarum. It doesn't really matter, but it will be a little bit safer there. And that's going to allow us to, from our deck, cast the 1-drop Toxiswarm. Now, Toxiswarm on cast is going to burn your opponent for 1 spirit, which is cool, but not the important part. The important part is that it is an Insectoid, meaning that we can use the Ardvarum effect to destroy our Toxiswarm, and that is going to allow us to then ascend into our copy of An Titan. And this is going to be the combo. It's very expensive. As you can see, we have 4 spirits left. We could do 5 if we just don't fully load the Aeolus, but I like having it there. But yeah, so that is going to be the combo. We end on 2 3-drops in a single turn, one of which is unaffected by your opponent's Elestrals because we control an Insectoid in the Stratomoth. We still have these 3 cards, but remember, we only started with 2, so 3 cards are left in our hand as well, giving us a 6-card hand. And this is pretty much all of the follow-up that we could need, because assuming that these are able to stick, the Moth will Nexus back to the Aeolus to summon something, then you have 2 on the Aeolus, which can get you another search. You, of course, have the Nimbugs for additional Nexuses as well. You could special cast the Sirikun if you feel so inclined. You can discard your Nimbugs off of the An Titan to pop cards that your opponent controls. So very, very strong end board, albeit very expensive. Now, what if you don't want it to be as expensive? Well, let's rewind the board state a little bit and show you guys another route that we can take. Alright, so we have rewound the board state to the point where we have summoned the Stratomoth, but not yet used its effect to cast from deck. What if we want this to maybe recuperate a little bit of our spirits? We can go ahead and utilize the Stratomoth. This is going to, once again, Nexus. We can put it under the Ardvarum or the Stratomoth, it does not matter. But the 1-drop that we are going to cast is going to be our Nemesail. Now, Nemesail, of course, on cast allows us to heal for 2 wind spirits. So we just get to throw 2 Wind Spirits back in our deck, and this is a really good place that you can end, because while you might not have the Antitan, you still have a 2 and a 3 drop, both of which are relatively big stats. You still have 6 cards in your hand, and of course you have the Nemesail, which if it sticks can heal you more. But we don't have to be done here. So you can see here that we are on 7 spirits now, as opposed to the 4 that we were on previously. So what if we want to go even further? We can go ahead and take our Nimbug, we can discard it and spend 1 of those Wind Spirits we recuperated, and we can take that additional wind that we have under our Aardvarm, and we can Nexus that over to our Nemesail. Nemesail will activate once again, giving us an additional heal 2. Now, technically, this is only recuperating an additional 1 because we had to spend 1 off of the Nimbug, but we are now up to 8 spirits instead of the 4 that we were down previously, and technically speaking, if you wanted to, you could always go ahead and use your Nimbug, Nexus the last spirit off of Aeolus to the Nemesail again, going up to a total of 9 spirits, which, you know, let's just go ahead and do for the sake of showing you guys. We're going to go ahead and Nimbug, we're going to get rid of a Lycaris, Nexus 1 more to our Nemesail. Nemesail will activate once again. Of course, this is going to get rid of the Aeolus, but also heal us our 2 spirits, and that puts us up to a grand total of 9. Now, we do only have 4 cards in our hand now, since we got rid of 2 of them, but the important part is that one of them is still an Insectoid, meaning that during our next turn, the Aardvarm will be able to ascend into our Antitan, and then the Antitan has an Insectoid that we can pitch. We've recuperated a bunch of our spirits, we're not just completely dead in the water, and of course, with those other cards, if you have any kind of counter runes, you can pay them off of the Nemesail to maximize the value that you are keeping in your spirit deck, which is absolutely insane. But we're not done here. There is one more combo that we can show you guys, so let's rewind the board state one more time. Now, for the third and final variation of this combo, we have rewound the board state once again to the point where we have the Stratomoth and the Aardvarm. We have not yet used the effect of the Stratomoth to Nexus, so here's what we are going to do. We're going to go ahead and utilize the effect of the Stratomoth, Nexusing 1 of our Wind Spirits, and this is going to, this time, as our Wind 1-drop of choice, cast our copy of Windjin. Yes, Windjin is back thanks to the brand new Tornadin in Sunstrike, but Windjin did just receive a Wind Spirit, so we're going to go ahead and blind call a card. We're going to call Gorgon's Gaze because we still have 3 of them left in our deck. We're going to foretell the top 3. We see an Altar, an Exaltair, and a Pandora's Box. Unfortunately, we have missed our Windjin, but that does not matter. We can put those back on the top of our deck, and very handily use our effect of Nimbug, discarding it and expending a wind. This will allow us to Nexus that additional wind back over to our Windjin, and activate Windjin effect one more time. And conveniently now, we know the top 3 cards of our deck. We're going to go ahead and call Pandora's Box. So we once again foretell the top 3. We get the Altar, the Exaltair, and the Pandora's Box. We get to add the Pandora's Box to our hand. These remain foretold while we ascend into our copy of Windjin. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And now we can go ahead and put these back on top in whatever order we want. Realistically, does not matter for the sake of showing you the combo. But now we have, again, 6 cards in our hand, a Tornadin, a Stratomoth, and Aardvarm. We are a little bit lower on spirits than we were the last time. We can go ahead and utilize the thing that I was mentioning where you only use 4 on the Aeolus if you want to have a little bit more. But we do have an extra spirit under the Tornadin to pay if we want to use the P-Box. So it really does not matter at the end of the day. But this gives you incredible follow-up for the next turn, because we have the Tornadin, which can either draw us 3 cards or remove one of our opponent's cards, the Stratomoth to once again just Nexus and summon, the Aardvarm, which can go into the Antitan, because if we summon the Toxiswarm, we can pop the Toxiswarm to go to the Antitan, and the 6 cards left in our hand, and that is absolutely absurd. And there we have it. That is going to be the first ever Elestrals Wombo combo. If you liked it, you know the deal. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment, and share with your friends. Before we wrap up the video, I do need to give a shout out to my best friend, Mad Typhlosion. He took 11th at Worlds, so really good player. He's the one that showed me this combo, and without him, this video would not have been possible. If you want to see the deck profile for this, go ahead and make sure this video gets at least 20 likes. I'm going to lock that behind a like goal of 20 likes, just to make sure that you guys really want to know what the build for this is. Of course, it's not legal until Sunstrike comes out, but the earlier you get it, the more you can practice with it, which is always a benefit. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you know the deal. I will see you in the next one.